weather update. Overall, things are pretty quiet, but we'll go through more details coming up here in just a few minutes. If you can give me about a minute to get everything prepped here behind the scenes, we'll get fully started on this update. And as you may have noticed, if you are watching from the area, we aren't on air right now. The NBA season is back underway, so they are essentially covering our coverage right now. But we'll be back for our live broadcast tonight at 10:30 after NBA basketball is over for tonight. So just a little update on why we aren't doing our full broadcast right now. But again, we are looking at beautiful conditions across the area, and this is all thanks to high pressure. But I'll let you know how long that's going to be sticking around, as well as when we will start to see some changes here in, like I said, about a minute or so, once I get everything here working behind the scenes. All right, it looks like everything is working smoothly here, like I was hoping it would. So I know we'll get some more people to work their way in here in the next few minutes, but let's get started with this. Again, if you're just tuning in, it's been a beautiful day out there. We've got a ridge of high pressure that's centered over the region, our storm system that brought us the rain and the snow on Sunday and into Monday morning. It's well to the east of us now, and we're likely going to be in this nicer weather pattern for at least the next couple of days before we start to see some of those changes. So I'll just say this, after this YouTube live update, again, thanks for watching, but if you can, go out and enjoy the weather. It's going to be absolutely a fantastic evening across the region. But if you have any questions or comments as we go throughout this update, feel free to ask those in the chat section, and I will try and answer them as we go about this. But again, those live looks across area, Kalispell, Dillon, Butte, Missoula, beautiful area wide. Now we're seeing those temperatures generally into the 50s for most of the region. And again, the reason why we're seeing these quiet conditions, this ridge of high pressure that is centered over western Montana, the storm system that brought us that activity, this spin out here over the Great Lakes, but in behind it, we've seen pretty quiet conditions. And like I said, this is going to be sticking around for a little while. Most of the region, we're talking anywhere from mid-50s to lower 60s. Right now, we're at 55 in Kalispell, 61 in Missoula and Dillon, 60 in Butte, or 60 in Bozeman, 58 there in the mining city. We'll see these temperatures staying pretty consistent for about another 45 minutes to an hour. We should slowly see these start to cool off once we get to near sunset, and especially after sunset. Now, as for tonight, we're going to see those temperatures falling back down into the 20s and 30s for most locations, though you see West Yellowstone there at 17 degrees. Looking at 28 for both Butte and Bozeman, 26 Deer Lodge, 33 in Hamilton, 31 both Missoula and Polson, 29 Kalispell, and 28 into Libby. Most areas, I think we're talking mostly clear to partly cloudy skies tonight. The one issue, we could see some patchy fog. This is going to be most likely into our valleys west of the divide, where we could see some inversions start to develop. As it does so, patchy morning fog can't be ruled out. If you happen to run into any of those areas, make sure to take it slow for the Wednesday morning commute. Use your low beams and give yourself plenty of room between you and the vehicles in front of you. I kind of harp on that a lot when we get into some of these more foggy periods of time. But it's always a good reminder. Just give yourself a little bit extra time on that commute tomorrow morning. And it's likely not just going to be for Wednesday morning that we deal with the fog. It's going to be Thursday and into Friday before we start to see those inversions get mixed out and we see the likelihood of fog really start to fall off as that next storm system moves in, especially into Saturday. Now, most of this week, we're going to be pretty calm on the winds, but as we get into Friday and Saturday, we're going to see that storm system increasing those winds just a little bit. That could lead to some choppy conditions for Friday specifically, where it's not going to be raining. So if you have any plans out towards any of our lakes, be prepared for at least the potential for 15 to 25 mile per hour wind gusts, maybe even a few gusts in that 30, 35 mile per hour range, something we're still kind of keeping a close eye on. But winds will be increasing with that storm system that does arrive as we get into late Friday night, but especially into Saturday. And that's going to really be what we're tracking. That next weather maker that arrives for this weekend. We're talking scattered to widespread rain and snow showers as things stand right now. There is likely going to be past travel impacts, especially along the Montana-Idaho state line. But there even could be some slick roads in our valleys. There's still a lot of question marks about how cold it's going to get and how low those snow levels drop. But I'll show you that forecast here in just a second. But in general, most of our travel impacts will be up over our passes into this weekend. Now, looking at those precipitation chances, we are dry through Friday, maybe late Friday, and we start to see a few showers primarily up into northwest Montana, but you see those precipitation chances 70 to 80%. Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be pretty soggy throughout this weekend, as it looks like, and it does appear as though it's going to come in multiple waves. So we may be very wet for a period of time, dries out for just a bit, and then you see another wave into the morning. And as I get into Future Tracker, you'll kind of see what I mean by that. And I think I have that coming up right here, which I do. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're dry. Maybe an isolated shower tries to move into northwest Montana late on Friday. This is looking, say, 9 to midnight up here for places like Thompson Falls, Libby, Troy, where we could see a few light showers. But watch as we go through Saturday night, or I should say Saturday morning. This is looking around, say, 7 o'clock. We're talking about light to moderate rainfall, Kalispell, Polson, Missoula, Hamilton, working its way in towards Butte. At this point, snow levels should be still relatively high, about 6,000 feet, but a cold front will be passing through as we get into Saturday with that first wave. Behind it, we'll start to see those snow levels falling. So, like I was mentioning, multiple waves. Wave 1, then we'll see wave 2 move through, and then we're going to see that potential for snow levels dropping down to around, say, 4,500 feet as we head into Saturday. Could be talking about light to moderate snowfall up in our mountain passes. It gets a little bit more dispersed as we head into Sunday morning, but watch by the afternoon. Here comes the next wave that's going to be sticking around through Monday morning. And this is that window, Sunday night into Monday morning, that I think our valleys have the best chance for a little bit of light snowfall, or at least a wet snowfall with that could lead to some slick roads for the Monday morning commute. Still a lot of questions with that, but you see how this just kind of lingers into the day on Monday. We'll see those snow levels rising back above valley floors, at least up to around, say, 4,000 feet, as it looks like for Monday afternoon, but still plenty of question marks on this storm system. And really looking at the timing of all of this with our snow level forecast, Saturday afternoon, we start to see that cold front passes through. We start to see those snow levels dropping down. And really by Sunday morning, we're going to see that pretty close to valley floors during the morning hours. They'll lift back up to pass level for the afternoon. And then a secondary push of cold air moves in as we head into Monday and Tuesday. And we'll have to see how long this moisture sticks around. Some forecast models are indicating this moisture sticking around all the way into Tuesday and maybe even Wednesday. And if that happens, then we could see a couple of mornings where we're dealing with a little bit of valley snow as well. But like I said, we're still talking about 5 to 7 days out. There's plenty of time for this forecast to adjust, new information on the forecast models to come through. So stay tuned to the forecast, as there will likely be changes as we go throughout this period. But in general, just be prepared. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, that's going to be that next storm system. As for those temperatures, like I was saying, we're going to see those anywhere from 5 to 15 degrees above average, really today all the way through Saturday in Bozeman, more like Wednesday through Friday for areas along and west of the divide. But Saturday is going to be that day of transition. That cold front passes through, and by Sunday we're talking high temperatures in the 30s and 40s area wide, with those lows dropping down into the 20s. And you see how we really just don't warm up all that much as we head into the middle parts of next week. And that's why, if we do still have moisture in play and in the area, we could be looking at least continued chances of some morning snowfall even in our lower valleys. So that's just, again, something we'll have to keep a very close eye on. But the key takeaways, and this is going to be the sort of the last call if you have any questions or comments. Key takeaways. Next couple of days, we're looking at really nice afternoons. We are going to see that potential for morning fog, especially for our valleys west of the divide. Also, some valley inversions may limit how warm temperatures are going to get. we're still looking at least 50s as things stand right now. But if you break through those inversions, they don't get as strong. We could see those temperatures into the 60s for places like Missoula as we get into the next few days. Then we see that next storm system move through Friday. That's going to be a bit of a breezy day ahead of that storm. Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we're talking about that increasing chance of moisture. Primarily valley rain with mountain snow, but snow levels will be falling as we go throughout Saturday and into Sunday. So if you have any travel plans over the passes this week, certainly be aware of that potential for winter driving conditions, especially along the state line. So thank you all for tuning in. Have a great rest of your evening. Again, go out and enjoy the nice weather while you can. Tune into our live broadcast tonight after basketball. That's going to be, I believe, around 10:30 this evening. And then, of course, tomorrow morning, NBC Montana Today with Jason Hurst and Chief Meteorologist Brooke Foster with the latest news and weather updates when what occurs overnight. So thank you all for spending a little bit of your Tuesday evening with me. Have a great one, and I'll see you all in the next one. With NBC Montana, I'm meteorologist Mitchell Coombs.